Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon.
Last week, right, I spoke about, and I posted on my Facebook afterwards, that an affidavit from the lawyer, from the lawyer's office, Lewin, and he's making an affidavit, and he was making a big point about how, the judge should have recused herself from the Rubashkin trial. Remember that? We were talking about that last week? And she should have recused herself because she was involved with the she was involved with the, not more than prosecution, she was involved with the law enforcement prior to the event. And it was based around her schedule, therefore she was so involved with it at the time, she should have dropped it when it actually went to court and let somebody else pick it up from there. And we have a viewer, Mendel, who contacted me and after watching it, and he brought some information which is now an exclusive. And by the way, this part of the video I'm going to make separate, okay? A separate video, and just make it about this, because this is going to go wide. We're going to blow this wide open right now. This is huge, folks. We're going to blow this open. We have an exclusive. This is exclusive information, and it's explosive. Mendel pointed out that there could be a conflict with the judge based on something totally different. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's that the judge has an official conflict of interest list on the judge's own official webpage, which I will post tomorrow to the fan club. Everybody needs to join the fan club, right? Because that's where I'm going to post this tomorrow.
How do they find Torah Talks on Facebook? How's it listed?
It's Torah Talks with Rabbi Rabs and Luke Ford. Okay. So everybody should join the Facebook thing, because I'm going to post the official webpage of the judge. The judge lists, like, her, she voluntarily lists all the different potential conflicts of interest, and if any time one of those becomes one of the plaintiffs or the parties involved in a lawsuit, she has to recuse herself, because she has interest in those particular things.
Right.
One of them, Mendel looked up, one of the companies listed is Goldman Sachs. We've actually mentioned it here, that company, several times over the last year. You've heard of them, Goldman Sachs.
Right.
They're an investment firm. She's invested in Goldman Sachs, apparently. She has money in Goldman Sachs. So if Goldman Sachs ever came up as a plaintiff or as a defendant, she has a conflict of interest, and she would have to recuse herself from the trial. Well, it's interesting because Goldman Sachs has tremendous amount of investment in Burger King.
Right.
Are you aware of this? Burger King. Who's Burger King? The Whopper with the king and the whole thing? Goldman Sachs is heavily invested in Burger King. Why is that important? Because Burger King is a gigantic part of the meat industry. There are meat processing plants that do a lot of business with Burger King, right? Burger King needs meat, right? This is a case, the Rubashkin case, is dealing with the meatpacking industry, right? It's the meatpacking industry, and here's Burger King, who she's heavily invested in, is on her conflict of interest. Now you're saying, well, what does Burger King, for Christ's sake, have to do with the Rubashkin case, right? What do the two have to really do with each other? It's not like Burger King is coming up, for trial. It's Rubashkin, right? Well, let's think about that. What is the conflict of interest here? What possible reason would it be that there's a conflict? Well, here's one. Let's say that you're Burger King, right? You are, I'm going to show, there's a video, okay? I'm going to post all this tomorrow. I'm going to show that I'm going to post a link showing that Goldman Sachs is one. On the conflict of interest, I'm going to post the thing that Goldman Sachs is heavily invested in Burger King, and I'm going to show a video that Burger King has been blasted even in YouTube. I'll show the YouTube video by people who say that they take advantage of their workers and they exploit their workers. The employees at Burger King are exploited while the people who are in charge of Burger King are making a ton of money. So there's already that going on. Well, what are the charges against Rubashkin? Is that he was exploiting the workers, right? So if you're Burger King, you may say, hey, wait a minute, we don't buy any kosher meat. This is not going to affect us at all. So let's throw Rubashkin onto the altar, make him a sacrifice, and that will deflect the attention away from us and help us out, because everything is going to be focused on Rubashkin. The media is going to be focused on Rubashkin. The government is going to be all up to its arm. You know, it's not going to have any resources left after doing a major bust on him, and bringing in the raid and then taking him to trial. Right? They're going to be so. They're not going to have the manpower, the resources left to go after Burger King. They're going to be all caught up with Rubashkin, right? And when Rubashkin's meatpacking plant got shut down, it wiped out a whole city.
Right.
Could you imagine what would happen if those people had raided a Burger King slaughterhouse, right?
Right.
Instead, it would have wiped out potentially Burger King. Let's say there was like 8 or 9 different slaughterhouses that they could have shut down instead.
Right.
And they were all involved with Burger King. You could put Burger King out of business, right? And it would have devastated them. And then that would have devastated Goldman Sachs. And hello, what did we see that happens when a major investment firm of that stature goes under? What happens? It pulls the whole damn economy down. It happened with Lehman Brothers and AIG. Remember that whole thing, that whole financial meltdown in the last 2 years? We could go through another round of that because Goldman Sachs would go down, and then it would just bring everybody down. It would destroy the whole economy. So they said, you know what? Why don't we throw Rubashkin, the Jew, into the fire, take the pressure off the economy, won't do any damage to Goldman Sachs. Burger King will be left alone, right? Everybody will be focused on Rubashkin, nobody cares about kosher, nobody cares about this guy, and that would be the possible motive why it would be a conflict of interest for a judge who's heavily invested in Burger King would want to make a scapegoat out of Rubashkin. What do you think about that? That's a possible conflict of interest, and you heard it here first, folks. It's going to be the Burger King bailout. That's what would have happened. That's right. That's what would happen, folks. And you know what? What are you doing?
Throw the Jew down the well.
Right. So what we're saying here is she has a possible conflict of interest, and she should have recused herself from the
trial.
From the trial, and then you throw out the verdict and you have a retrial, right?
Right.
So this will probably get to the counsel of the defense attorneys for the appellate, and let them decide how they want to pursue this thing. But I think there's enough evidence right now to at least there's a because everything's like wishy-washy. There's always gray areas in the law. I think they've got a big loophole here. I think there's enough room to squeeze him through. That's my opinion, and we're going to see how far this goes. But remember, if they retry him, if they throw out his verdict based on what we heard here tonight, Rabbi Rabs, Levi Ford, just remember us when it gets time to write your monthly checks, right?
Right. Monthly
checks, so important, right?
Yes.
We want monthly checks from every viewer. We don't care where you're from. You could be Lubavitch. You could be, a former Seventh-day Adventist person or in their church. Whatever it is.
We'll take your money.
We'll take your money. It's like if you're in the chat room right now, reach into your wallet, right? And throw it into our PayPals. There's no time like the present. Me and Levi are saving the world.
Exactly.
Because I have the moral leader right here, right?
Exactly.
And you never know with me what I am.
You remember the song "Throw the Jew Down the Well"?
Okay, you want to sing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my country there is problem, and that problem is transport. It takes very, very long because Kazakhstan is big. Throw transport down the well so my country can be free.
Is this from Borat?
We must make travel easy, then we'll have a big party. In my country there is problem, and that problem is the Jew. They take everybody's money and they never give it back. If you see the Jew coming, you must be careful of his teeth. You must grab him by his money, and I'll tell you what to do. Throw the Jew down the well so my country can be free. You must grab him by his horns, then we have a big party. That's kind of what you're talking about.
Right, but you just ruined the whole Burger King segment. Who's going to want to watch that?
We could have the Jew down the well.
We could have went viral. We could have been big, and Levi had to ruin it with his singing.
So my country can be free. We must make travel easy, then we'll have a big party. You must grab him by his horns, so my country can be free. You must be careful of his teeth. You must grab him by his money.
Okay, we heard it twice. You just killed the show, lady. You killed the show.
Thank you. I also do weddings and bar mitzvahs.
Okay. All right, so that's all I got on that. What do you have? Any questions? What are your thoughts about that? Because you're usually the skeptic in this. You're usually like, oh, this is speculation.
I think that Sholom Rubashkin does not deserve 27 years in prison for his crimes.
Anything.
So let's say he did everything that he was accused of and for which there's evidence for.
Right.
Then it's like 5 years. I mean, if the average murderer gets 12 years, then why is Sholom Rubashkin getting 27? It's like they're throwing the Jew down the well because they think it'll help their country to be free. And they say transport's the solution, but Kazakhstan is very big.
Okay, we've made your point 3 times. There's nobody left.
Then we'll have a big party.
They're leaving our fan page. There won't be a fan page when we get home.